What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of tkanddrinks, the Honest Mead Review. I'm your host, TK, the aspiring BJCP Mead Judge. If you don't know what that is, that's the Beer Judge Certification Program. That's the Beer Judge Certification Program. I'm aspiring to be a mead competition judge, and one of the ways I'm doing that is by reviewing some meads that I purchase or am gifted by the kindness of their own hearts for some meaderies around the country. And today is no exception, and I'm really excited for this one because it's from Ancient Fire. They're out of, I believe, Manchester, New Hampshire. I always get that wrong, even though it's right on the bottle. I probably shouldn't. But today we have a cyser. So a cyser, I like saying cyser. I don't think it's pronounced cyser, but I like it because it's a C-Y-S-E-R. Cyser. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a cyser today from the Ancient Fire cats over there. And for those of you who don't know, a cyser is a mead that's made with apple juice or apple cider or apple concentrate, something like that, in place of the water. So this is probably going to smack of apples, and from what I read online, this was aged 10 months in rye whiskey barrels. It's a sweet leaning, still, it's like almost 16%, so it's definitely above a standard strength on that. And if you get a cool look at this bottle, quick look at this cool bottle, again, I love the labels there, Ancient Fire, very simple, very modest. I like the shape of the bottle itself. You already see the clarity there is, it's got a little bit of haze too. It's not 100% perfect or anything like that, but we all know that that's not indicative of anything. That's just a visual cue there. So I do like this one. It's very, very cool. It's, I don't know, like a burnt sienna type of color on there. So I like the labels, like when somebody has like a whole series of labels and they all look like the same one, uniform, but like with different colors. I think that's a really unique approach. Equally as cool as the people have like the wild and crazy labels. You know, that's always cool too. It takes a special type of artist to be able to produce a bunch of really cool labels like that. So I think it's equally as important to point out when something that's simplistic and modest works as well. You know, a lot of these meadery owners probably have spent a lot of time thinking about their labels. So I like to give them a little bit of shine when we notice. Definitely digging the synthetic cork here. Pop. Ooh, excuse me. Must have been some little bit of dinner. Ooh, smells, yeah, like very heavy of apple juice. Liquid apples already. Definitely was expecting that. So, ooh, let's see if we can do a slow pour this time. Right, got our Ancient Fire tulip. Here we go. Look good to me. Alright, so you can see in that pour, that has definitely got some body to it. It is already leaving a nice legginess all over the glass. Lots of strong tearing going on right there, if you can see it. Yeah, there is some nice residual sugar left over. That's going to be a very sweet leaning mead by their own admission, and from what we've learned here, lots of legs typically means a full body and a sweet leaning mead. Not always, but it's a pretty good indicator. If we look down, bend our glass at the angle like so, and look right at where the edge of the liquid meets the glass, you can see a nice, see that, to me I would call that a clearish color. Now, even being aged in barrels, I definitely get some like whiskey yellowish, orangish hued whiskey color to it there when it thins out, but that might be the mead. I'm thinking right there on the edge where it's meeting, it's pretty clear there. So imagine this probably isn't too old, but I could be wrong. I'm still learning all this stuff, hence the name of the show. So again, very leggy, loving that. Man, that smells just like apples. I don't pick up any whiskey aroma in that at all. Maybe just a hint, a tiny hint of sourness in there. But that just smells wonderful of apples, and even though I'm getting the sweetness in there from the honey too. Kind of like an earthiness to it. I'm interested to see how this is going to taste given all these nasal characteristics that I'm picking up. It's very intriguing knowing it's been aged in whiskey barrels and it's got buckwheat honey in it, and we haven't had buckwheat honey on this show before, or I haven't. Maybe somebody else on this show has who hasn't told me about it. Shame on you. But from the people I have talked to, it's very earthy, very smoky almost, like heavy caramelization notes to it. So we're going to be finding out for ourselves. Holy crap. That is phenomenal. That tastes like a that is like a caramel apple cider deliciousness. I'm struggling to think. It's like every delicious caramel apple combination treat you'd find at like a state fair or something like that. It gets this super pleasant earthiness and like roasted caramel or something like that. You get this almost like that. I have to melanin. I have to find out what the name of that effect is. But there's the name of an effect, like when you char something, like when you're like searing your steaks and you get that little bit of char on them, or your vegetables on the grill, something like that. It releases that certain type of flavor, and y'all know it when you eat your like roasted vegetables and stuff like that. But holy cow, it slaps at that in the middle of there too. The apple is very present. It tastes, like I said, like a very sweet apple juice. Very memorable mouthfeel. It hangs out and coats your mouth. I get no whiskey, no rye whiskey flavor at all. I guess a little bit of warming on the drink. On the swallow, you can pick up a little bit, but holy cow. These cats at Ancient Fire have some seriously well developed complexity to their stuff. I'm delighted by everything that I've had from them so far, and I look forward to every single one that I'm pulling from them. This is a treat beyond treats. So let me get over that scorecard here real quick. All right, back with that score sheet. Hit this guy off with a 41 for all the reasons I was talking about before. Gave it an 8 out of 10 on the aroma, that sweet apple aroma. You get that molasses caramelization smell from the buckwheat honey. Just a general overall sweetness is very pleasant in there. It reminds me of, like I said, like being in the fresh in the orchards, out somewhere, having apples pressed around you or something like that. Just this like natural apple aroma. Just it eludes from there, and it's just like I said, that hint of the sweetness from the molasses smell from the buckwheat honey. I'm dying to try some of that all by itself. Some real hearty buckwheat honey sounds delicious from the bottom of my soul. I just want to try it so bad. Okay, so on the appearance, we hooked it up with a 6 out of 6. Pretty much everybody gets a 6 on the appearance anymore, unless there's something I can really see, like it's floaties or particulates. If there's just something that looks off, cloudy cloudy is different than hazy in my opinion. Hazy is hazy. Cloudy is like there's something in there that's making it a cloud. A haze is just a consistent, uniform appearance to the meat itself. So I'm not going to dock any points for that, especially from some people that making some delicious meat like this who obviously know what the fuck they're doing. So hit them up with the 20 out of 24 on the flavor. I would have personally liked to see a little bit more on the whiskey flavor, but that being said, man, this thing is just kicking ass all over the place. The apple flavor just comes through. Like I said, you get that. It tastes like an apple treat from like a state fair or from a carnival or something like that. It's got caramel on it, but maybe it's a little bit burnt because it's been sitting too long at the edge of the tray there. You know, right by the caramel machine, and it's got a little bit of char on there. And holy cow! And now that it's warming up a little more to room temperature, all those flavors are just accentuated even more. This is truly a wonderful, wonderful thing. If you ever get a chance to pick one of these up, they're at Ancient Fire. You can order online, hit them up at I think the Vino Shipper, or like I said, if you're in New Hampshire or whatever, scoop up a bottle of the Bucka-Wheat Bonzai, because that is a delicious treat. You will be doing yourself all sorts of favors. And last, I got a 7 out of 10 on the overall impression. Again, it's just absolutely wonderful. A couple things here and there I would have done, if they wanted to dial it into my own personal, they wanted to get it to me. But hey, like I said, that's just a personal preference. This is just a wonderful, absolutely wonderful mead to try. I highly recommend you pick up a bottle of this whenever you get a chance. Also be on the lookout for an interview with Mr. Jason Phelps from Ancient Fire. He's going to be on the tkanddrinks What's the Story interview series in the coming up here in early April. So be on the lookout for that. Super excited to pick his brain and just talk mead and talk in general. He seems like a super cool, interesting cat. If you don't follow Ancient Fire on social media, you should check them out. Delicious AF everywhere. I think it's a great name. I love clever marketing like that. So Delicious AF, hashtag Delicious AF on Instagram, Facebook. I believe they've even got a YouTube channel that they've been going on where they got how-to videos, and they've got a Mead Maidens thing where they got an all-women mead making collective going on there. They got all sorts of cool stuff going on there at the Ancient Fire. So we'll be asking Jason about all that stuff going on. So be on the lookout for that interview coming up, like I said, early April. Thank you for being here on Honest Mead Review with TK today. Bucka-Wheat Bonzai, get you one. Later.